She's already rolling her eyes at me, and I won't tell you who for a second because please donate to keep this on the air. And when I said she's rolling her eyes at me, it's Karen Restoule, who is an Indian. She's with Macdonald-Laurier Institute. She knows all of what's going on with communities across Canada, and we did a show on this ages ago. It's still a topic. I still run into natives who bring it up. I ran to an Indian 2 or 3 months ago who said, well, what about the 6,000 children in residential schools dead, killed by the white guys? And I said, where'd you hear that? He said, well, on Aboriginal radio. This is still an issue, so let's put it to bed. Can we?
Yes. So
you do it.
I rely on facts. I don't know about the rest of the world, but Volume 4 of the TRC final report touches on this very topic of the kids who were removed from their homes, put into residential schools, and never made it back home.
And some tragedies occurred, no question.
The records show, these are the 3,000-ish deaths where there were records that are explored in Volume 4 of that final report, and really help educate and inform Canadians that some kids they didn't make it home.
They didn't make it home, and we don't have the reasons why. I'm sure there's some atrocities. I'm also sure that there's some due to smallpox, some due to runaway. There's all kinds of myriad reasons, and we don't know. But our Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, on bended knee, with a teddy bear, Kamloops, and there's been not one body recovered out of that, what people said were 280, I think, deaths there.
Yeah.
So is it just a bunch of media playing stuff up and some Native leaders?
I've said this before publicly. I'm not a huge fan of the way that mainstream media covered that moment in 2021, where Kamloops leadership came out and said, you know, we have 215 anomalies is what they called it.
Yeah.
And then you had mainstream media who took that and started calling it mass graves. And unfortunately,
our Prime Minister took it around the world that Canadians are guilty of
on.
genocide.
Other mainstream media, predominantly left-leaning, took that and ran and misled Canadians.
Karen Restoule, put this issue to bed.
You have, kids who were removed from their homes, who were put into residential school. That was the policy of the time, enforced by the authorities, by the RCMP, who were living in conditions that just weren't up to standard. And unfortunately, they weren't sheltered from certain harms like disease and other. And it's very unfortunate that those kids did not survive and they didn't make it home.
And in some cases, they were removed from homes because the Native homes were also atrocities.
That was subject to the standards or the perception of that time. And I think that's a generality that is not fair when you consider the lens of government officials and what their understanding of what a good home means.
Fair comment. Thank you very much. Put that to bed. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.